everyone, and welcome back to Wicked Art. It is Wicked here, and for our Monday art lesson today, I thought we would learn how to take an animal, and you can use the same advice for any animal that you would like to use, um, and turn that. Let me just adjust my camera here. How to take any animal and make it a character, right? The different steps that we would take in order to, bring it to life and give it a personality. So we're going to talk about some of those key features while designing some stuff here. So first things first, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like button. If you want to see more content like this. But other than that, we're going to get to it. We're going to use this octopus here, okay, as a reference. Okay, so we're going to look at some of the features, and we want to make sure that we establish a lot of what we're seeing in the image, right? So like I'm going to start with this bulbous part of the head. Okay, so taking on key features in these animals is just as important as exaggerating, right? So I'm exaggerating the shape to fit my needs. So where the head is almost perfectly round, I'm kind of giving it a different shape and texture. So when you're playing around in there, you can, do that until you find the thing that fits you, right? And then we just have our head, right? Which is then extended into our tentacles, right? So I'm just going to go like this for now just to show my tentacles. But here's the key part. Regardless of what you're doing shape-wise, when it comes to animals and things like that, you want to make sure that you get the eyes right, okay? The thing that makes these characters, if you ever watch cartoons with animals in it, things like The Little Mermaid, stuff like that with Sebastian and Flounder, is the eyes. You have to give them a human-like feature so that there is a way for them to emote expression amongst other things, right? So I'm going to give this kind of a large brow shape. As you can see in the picture, the octopus doesn't really have this. We just have the eyes kind of almost sitting on top of the head. But I'm going to take this shape to kind of help me define the brow, right? And then what you can do is add those same eyes that the octopus has okay, and then we can put those in there. So I'm gonna put like a little fold here, and again we can come down and make our eye so it looks more like a human eye, right? At least the way it sits on the body and it sits on the head, okay? So we're just gonna go with a basic simple dot inside of here, okay? And then I want to kind of keep that same bottom fold that I have, okay? So you can already see just by what I've done with the eyes here, we've already got an expression set on the face that brings it to life a little bit more, okay? Now, the next thing I want to do is kind of look at other features. So if we look at this image, we have, and I'm just going to refine some of these lines as I'm talking. We have little things on the octopus. Like if you look closely, there's, and even if you can't see it in my picture, if you look up your own pictures of an octopus. We have these tentacles, but there's like this little tiny little suction cup thing that comes off, right? So I'm going to put like another fold right here. And then I'm just going to have this tiny, almost tube shape come off. But see how I'm making it super skinny? I'm kind of taking it to a cartoony place, right? So that it wouldn't necessarily be accurate to how it's supposed to look, but we're using it in the fact that it can be used in a way for expressions, right? So how I have it dangling off, you know, if he squints his eyes or does whatever, we can have them raise up and just do different things. Okay, so now we can get into the body with the tentacles. Okay, so what you want to do is make sure that you're staying true to the fact that it has them, but you're being exaggerate with how you're going with the design, right? So like doing something as simple as like when I come down here, you know, going super small and then exaggerating the thickness of it as it comes back in to the body, right? And then we can just use that to build out more tentacles that come off, right? So depending on the position, there are ways you can work around, you know, what it is that you're doing. We can come in here and add like a curl to it, and again then we kind of extend out the thickness of it and bring it back in. Let's go ahead and clean that up. Okay, so you can see how building it out and being exaggerate can kind of, you know, help us get the shapes that we're looking for. We're going to come out here again and kind of thicken it, but then I can just kind of easily just wrap that around to give it some motion. We kind of make the bottom kind of curl back out this way. You know, and kind of touch right back to where it is. Again, just keeping that kind of a cartoony shape. And then also on the octopus, you can see we have these kind of like webbing almost that comes out from between each one. So kind of making sure that we get a little bit of that in there as well, just so we can see the folds. Okay, and then I can come out from here now and make another one. Let's go ahead and clean up that side. And we can come up that way. Right, and then again we can do things to bring the tentacles back out again. Again, we can show different layers to it and getting some of the underside here. Okay, and then same down here, we could probably see a little bit of the inside. I'm just cleaning up. See a little bit of the inside of the tentacle right there. Okay, some other things we can come on this side. And we don't have to show all 8, just give the, the illusion or the idea of the tentacle itself. Okay, so now we have ourselves a nice little octopus shape. Maybe I want some of that webbing fold to show through right there. And then again, kind of between right in there. Okay, so now we have our little octopus, and then you could be over exaggerate on the suction cups that are on the bottom. Kind of make them a little larger. Than what you actually see on the octopus itself. Again, I'm just kind of cleaning up inside those areas. Okay, so anywhere we have these kind of exposed underparts, is where we're going to put in our tentacle suction cups at. Okay, so you can just keep adding those in, go as far as you need with it, but again, just be kind of a little exaggerate with them, make them super skinny on one part and super big on the other. Okay, and then we have this part here. And we'll just keep adding those in. Okay, so what we wanted to start with is drawing the whole thing first, because now I'm going to go into, once we're done with it, how to work on setting up the expressions for these characters to kind of bring it to life in your head a little bit more. So if you wanted to go from there and make something else, you could. We could do little things to this by just adding in these little spots on the octopus. Some of them are spotted, some of them are not. If you don't want spots on your octopus, then by all means, you don't have to put any in there. Okay, but I'm just going to go through and add a little bit more life and character to mine. Okay, so again, that's up to you and what you want to do. Alright, put as many or as little as you want to, and then from there, it just allows you to take that and kind of look at what you want to do to expand upon it, right? So let's talk about the expressions now. Let's talk about like setting up things that we could do to exaggerate, right? So like for instance, if I wanted him to have like an angrier looking face, we could really kind of stretch out. And the thing with like and octopuses, we can kind of go for like a earthworm Jim kind of look to it. Put those a little closer to the top of the eye. But our lines are going to make us determine, you know, the overall shape. So like with a human, we have like a furrowed brow. So I'm using the shape of the eyebrow itself to kind of determine the look, right? So we can put our eye in here. Again, we'll keep it close to the top of the eyebrow, and we can take it in. So now we look like we have a squinting eye, right? Well, then all that's left to do is then add the feature of the face. Now we're not going to draw the whole body, but we can add the feature of the face to help us at least get an idea of what like an angry face would be, right? Because like he doesn't have a face, so the eyes are going to be key to emoting everything, right? So like we want to keep some things similar, right? So like my head was a little bit more bulbous, so I'll kind of bring that out a little bit more, maybe even on the top. And we don't have to spend a ton of time on the details and matching it right, just as long as we get the same, you know, kind of image in there. You know, I still want to bring back those similar spots that I had, right? Little places on the face, just so people understand that it's the same octopus. You know, there's nothing that's really changed. And then, you know, you'd have the start of your tentacles and stuff coming down this way, right? So that's just one, you know, type of look or expression that we could get. We could get, you know, another look of kind of like a you know, kind of thing, like what is that? So we can still use the same premise, right? I can build up the shape and make this really wide here. Right, so that'd be like my open eye for the little expression, or like, what? Did you really think I'm gonna believe that kind of thing? You know, just something to help set up that expression. And then we can kind of go for more of a down, kind of like what we did here. We can go for more of a squinted look, so this one's not going to be like as open. Right? So like this eye is squinted, and this one's open wide, and he's just kind of giving that look of like, are you out of your mind? Or what did you just say? You know, just whatever to kind of bring that out. We can bring the head down this way, and then we can, you know, we want to work in that bulbous part of the head, but it'll be at a little bit of a different angle. So we can put like a few more little wrinkles in there, drag the body out. And just kind of have that come down, and we start our tentacles here. And again, we want to kind of put our spots in somewhat similar spaces. Right? So again, the way you stretch and move and change the eyes are going to determine, what it is that you're doing with this character. Um, some other things we could do is if we wanted it to look happy, we have to kind of do it in a way that's good to read, because right, he doesn't have a smile on his face, right? So we got to kind of determine a way to make it look expressive enough so we could still go for this kind of a rounded look, to the eyes itself. But this time we can kind of have like the eyes be closed. Working the bulbous part of the head here. So maybe we don't need all of that. We could probably just leave the eyes as is. And then what we could do is maybe arch them a little bit more. And that'll give us more of a, a happier expression on the face. And it's more of a look of like satisfaction, and we can do one more here. We'll go ahead and just do a regular look of like, maybe they noticed something, looking down. So it's just really up to you. And the reason why we're doing this, kind of like a setup of just really showcasing these expressions was, let's say you wanted to do a comic or an animation with this, you could very easily take these. Let's say you were doing it digitally. You could take these and scan these in, and then any time that you need to change the face itself, you could place these over the top of what you've drawn the body doing, and it'll save you a little bit of time. That way you're able to have the consistency that you need for your image. Draw the bulb down a little bit more. Again, we'll just put in some circles on here, right? So again, just practicing these different facial expressions. You could take reference from yourself, take photos of yourself, like overly exaggerating, drawing different things, or making different faces about different things, right? So again, the key thing, like how to take an animal and turn it into a character, is exaggeration of the body and expression in the eyes, making it a human-like feature. something that we as humans watching it can relate to, right? And that will help you move forward. So try it on anything. If you practice this one, pick another animal. You don't just use an octopus, use a dog, use a cat, whatever you want to use. Other than that, I really appreciate you guys stopping by. We should have ourselves a full week. I'm not totally caught up on my projects, but I'm trying to find a way to work everything in to give you daily content. So again, if you liked what you saw in this video, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. If you have an idea for what you want to see, leave it in the comments. Guide me. Let me give you the content that you want, right? Other than that, I appreciate everyone who did stop by and stuck by for the whole video and practice. Feel free to share your work with me on Twitter. If you want to help support the channel, I got a little merch store down in the description at TeePublic and Redbubble. If you like my designs, you want to scrim through there. I'm adding more all the time. Other than that, have a wonderful Monday. And until next time, keep sketching, and I'll see you in the next one. All right? Bye.